Shalom, shalom, Israel, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying. First off, giving all praise, all honor, all glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, and all the teachers out there pushing this word in truth with truth and sincerity. May you be of the elect. Shalom to all the Akim and Aquas out there listening and learning. You Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanic, Native and Seminole Indians, who are the true children of Israel, as well as you speckled bird, Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that look like, act like, and take on the customs of all these heathen nations. So to you, I say shalom, and may you be of the elect. This lesson is brought to you by the Spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the true name of our Father, the God of the Bible, the God of the Israelites. Bahashem meaning in the name, and Yahweh Shai being the only begotten Son of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls by the name of JC. Right? And I made a lesson it's about this woman named Abigail. I don't know, I think maybe she might have been like a Ghanaian or Nigerian or something. You could tell by the way they talk, Nonetheless, she had a segment of this guy talking, and he mentioned that Isaac was a Canaanite. No, Isaac is not a Canaanite. And so when I made my response video per Elder Malcolm, I mentioned that, that Isaac is not a Canaanite. In fact, he's an Israelite, right? And also, and I mentioned that the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Moabites being the Chinese, the Ammonites being the Japanese, and I also mentioned about Esau, they're Hebrew, right? But they're not Hebrew Israelites, right? So I just made this video because I did mention that, that might be for another lesson. And the Spirit jumped on me to make that a lesson, right? So to clarify that, right? To prove all things, right? So without any further ado, right? That's what this lesson is. Isaac is not a Canaanite, right? He is the lineage of Eber, right? The lineage of Eber, right? Now, I was going to say, I had something written down. I guess I don't have it presently. Slovakia. Thought I had it. The word Ibaria, right, goes back to Hebrew. Eber, right? Eber, Ibaria, right? Eber, Hebrew. But anyway, let's get to this lesson. All right. So again, the name of the lesson is Isaac is not a Canaanite. He's the lineage of Eber. Eber is a descendant of Shem, right? The son of Noah, right? Noah had 3 sons: Shem, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? And Ham, right, the descendant or the progenitor of the so-called African race, Japheth of the Arabs, right? And then you got Shem, right, of the Israelites, where the Israelites sprang from, right? So I'm going to read Genesis. Whenever I have a book segment like that, that's just, it's better for me to just read it. That way I'm not clouding my lesson with all the word. This is Genesis 10, and I'm going to start at verse 1, then I'm going to jump down to verse 21 through 30 to bring home to the point. Right? So this is subtitled Noah's Descendants. Genesis 10 and 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. All right? And you can read all that if you want. I'm going to jump down to verse 10. Verse 21. All right? This is Shem's descendants. Okay? Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, right, which is Hebrew, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, right, the Eastern Indians, right, the Dot-head Indians, right, and Asher, Assyria, all right, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram. Now, we're going to follow a particular line, right, which is Arphaxad, right, but I'm going to keep reading. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. And the Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber, right? Eber. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, right? And that we're going to follow that line. Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, right? That's what his name means, divided, division. And his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almadad, and Shelef, and Hazarmaveth, and Jerah, and Hadaram, and Uzel, and Diklah, and Obel, and Abimel, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Misha, as thou goest unto Sephir, a mount of the east. Right now, that's pretty much what I wanted to get as far as that. Now jump to, because it continues, into Genesis chapter 11. All right, Genesis chapter 11, starting at verse 10. Again, Shem's lineage, Shem's line. Okay, these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad, right? Means cursed breasts. 2 years after the flood. You can pick that up on 1 Chronicles chapter 1, right? 17 through 27. Also Luke chapter 3, 34 through 36. Right? In verse 11 it says, and Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Salah. All right, to sprout, right? Salah, to sprout. It says, and Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber, right? Hebrew. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. Right? Remember, it means division. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. All right? And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Ru. And Peleg lived after he begat Ru 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Ru lived 230 years and begat Seruch. And Ru lived after he begat Seruch 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Seruch lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Seruch lived after he begat Nahor, and that we're going to follow that line, Nahor, 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. Again, we're going to follow that line, Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, right? Who later becomes Abraham, right? Abram, Nahor, and Haran, right? Now, Terah's family, right? Verse 27. Now, these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot, right? So Lot is the nephew of Abram, right? Also known as Abraham, right? So we're already seeing where this is going, right? Abraham, we already understand, is Hebrew, right? And he's the brother of Nahor and Haran begat Lot. Lot is the nephew of Abram, right? Abraham. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, right? Princess. And the name of Nahor's wife, Milcah, right? Queen. The daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Issac. But Sarah was barren, and she had no children. Right? Verse 31. And she had no child, Salakia. But Sarah was barren, and she had no child. That was Genesis 11 and 30. Verse 31. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Now, it's understandable why that guy would say Isaac is a Canaanite, because they were in Canaan. No, his bloodline, right, is of Abraham. Okay, going back to the very beginning, going back to Eber, right? You follow that line all the way through, right? We know that Isaac sprang from Abraham. Okay, so because I could say where I live, I'm of this cityite. Okay, or anybody that lives in say Texas, right? They're a Texan, right? Anybody that lives in Arizona, they're Arizonian, Californian, a Coloradian, or Coloradian, whatever, right? But that's fine and good. You are a citizen of that particular landmass, right? That particular city, state, or whatever. But it's about your lineage, your bloodline, right? So no, Isaac is not a Canaanite, right? He's an Israelite. Now, again, I also made the point of saying that Moab, which is the Chinese, and the Ammonites, which are Japanese, are Hebrew, but not Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and we're going to find that here, right? Again, stating Moab Chinese, Ammon Japanese, Hebrew, but not Israelites, through Lot, right? Their father, grandfather, however you want to look at that, because he did father them, right? But it was through not his choice, right? His daughters, right? Because everyone was destroyed, right? And there was no man left, right? Not even for them. So they took it upon themselves to get Lot, their father, white boy wasted it, whatever you want to call it. They got him scummy drunk, right? And he didn't know what was going on, and they took it upon themselves to, as they said, preserve seed. Okay, and so they lay with their father and had children. All right, and we're going to get that in Genesis, the 19th chapter. This is Genesis, the 19th chapter. I can read this whole chapter. It's all good. It's all really so good. But we're going to get straight to the point. All right, this is Genesis 19, and I started verse 30. It says, the birth of Moab and Ben-Ami. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar. And he dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth, because it was destroyed. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Why? Because he was scummy drunk, right? He was completely wasted, right? And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in, right? Telling the younger daughter, yeah, and you go in after he drunk, right? And go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose, because again he was scummy drunk. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father, right? And that's where you get the like the ancestral look, that Down syndrome look. That's why the Chinese, so-called Japanese, right? The Moabites and the Ammonites, that's why they have that slanted eye look, right? The almond-shaped eyes. That's where that comes from, right? It says, verse 37, and the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab, right? Which is the Chinese today, all right? And the same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, right, the younger sister, she also bare a son and called his name Ben-Ami, right, son of my people. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day, right? This is why I said what I said, right? They're Hebrew, but they're not Hebrew Israelites, right? The Israelites are of Abram and Isaac and Jacob, right? Going all the way back into that lineage, all right? Yeah, I had it all here. And that's pretty much it, I just wanted to make that point because the Spirit was on me to, clarify that, So, hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, all the honor, and the glories to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, and all the teachers out there pushing this word in truth with truth and sincerity. May you be of the elect. Stay prayed up, repent, Abba, Kwam Rashrella, and Shalom.